बोलिए श्री रामचंद्र भगवान के जय। बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म के जय। जय जय सीताराम. A warm and cordial welcome to all of you who are joining us at the mandir today, as well as those who are joining virtually online. As we engage today in the third session of our Ramayan yagya. As we sit today in anticipation and preparation to engage this evening's devotional session, I ask that we all clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads. We try to bring our minds to a point of focus upon the beautiful form of Maryada Purushottam, Prabhu Shri Ram. As we do this humble prarthana, this humble prayer, invoking His blessings and His grace into our lives, we all pray together. Hare Om, Hare Om, Hare Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charan Kamale Bhyo Namaha. Om Ramaya Ram Bhadraya Ramchandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namah. Neelam Bhuj Shamal Komalangam Sita Samaropit Vam Bhagam Panav Mahasayak Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. He Ram Purushottam Narhari Narayan Keshava Govinda Garuda Dhwaja Gunanidhi Damodar Madhava. He Krishna Kamalapati Yadupati Sitapati Shripati Vaikunta Adipati Characharpati Lakshmi Pate Pahimam. Om Adav Ram Tapovanadi Gamanam Hatvamigam Kanchanam Vaidehi Haranam Jatayumaranam Sugriva Samhashanam Bali Nigrahanam Samudrataranam Lankapure Dahanam Paschat Ravan Kumbhakaran Hananam Etadhi Ramayanam. Ramayan Sumiran. Jehi so mirata sedhi ho Gananayaka kari varabadana Karo anugraha so Bodhi rashi shubha guna sadana Mukha hoi vacha Pango charhaya giri varagahana Ja sukripa so gaya द्रवो सकल कलि मल दहना नील सरोरुहस्याम तरुण अरुण बारे जनयना करो सो माम ऊर्ध्वां सराक्षीर सागर शयना कुंदयेन्दु सामदेहा उमारमन करुणायना जाहि दीन परनेहा करो कृपा मर्दनमयना बंदव गुरु पाद पंच कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि महामोह तम पूंज जासु बचन रवि हरनि करा सियापति राम चंद्र जी की जय शरण। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम।
We all sing together. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram। Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram।
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram। Shri Ram अक्षरज रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। Prabhu Shri Ram is known as Maryada Purushottam, the greatest of all, that one who came to uphold values, to teach us morals, to teach us ethical behavior, righteousness, to stand for dharma, to stand for righteousness. And devotees, whenever we have that chance, whenever we have the opportunity and it comes to us to say Shri Ram, Jai Ram, devotees, we should take that opportunity and grasp it as something that is very, very valuable. Because devotees, in the Ramayan, the Lord says that we are blessed with this human form. Blessed with this human form. Bare bhagya manush tan pava. Bare bhagya. That bare means what? Big, lot. Bhagya, great fortune. It is by great fortune, great blessing that we have obtained this manushyatan, this human body. Devotees, we don't know how long we work, how long we wait to get this body, right? We don't know. We can't remember, right? We can't remember what we were in our last life. If we had a human form in our last life, we don't know. Or if we were in some lower form in our last life, in our last existence. But we have waited and we have waited and we have toiled and worked, and now Prabhu has blessed us with this human form. He says, Sura Duralabha Sab Grantha Hi Gava. That even the Suras, the Devatas in the heavens, would like to be blessed with this form. And who says this? Sab Grantha Hi. All the various scriptures. They all echo the same sentiment, that even the Devatas in the heaven would like to have this form, human form. As such devotees, what do we use the human form for? What Prabhu tells us? Sadhana Dham, the abode of sadhana, the abode of worship. That the day that we do not perform worship, devotees, we should feel that something is missing in our lives. It is for us to ask ourselves, how many days do we allow to pass in our lives when no worship is done? Understanding that there is a formal aspect of worship and informal aspect of worship. The formal aspect of worship, I ask devotees at least 15 minutes a day, at least. At least 15 minutes a day we should be able to dedicate formally to Bhagwan. It's up to us when we can find that time, or when we're going to make that time. So as we begin our spiritual journey, two things are recommended to us. One is called the Panch Akshara Mantra, 5-syllable mantra, Namah Shivaya. To perform jap with this. And two is the chanting of Shri Hanumanji Chalisa. These two things act as a springboard onto greater and greater practices. So as we start to practice, devotees, we now start to clear our way, so that we will feel, 15 minutes not enough. I can dedicate more time now. I can dedicate a half an hour now. And we start making it possible. to engage in this devotion. Today being Tuesday. Who knows how to say Tuesday in Hindi? Not Janita. Not Janita. Somebody else. I know you know. Who can say Tuesday in Hindi? Nobody? Okay, Janita, you tell them. Mangalwar. Mangalwar. And it's on this day that we worship especially Pawanputra Hanumanji, Mangal Murati, that one who represents everything that is auspicious. So today, devotees, we take this opportunity to chant together Shri Hanumanji Chalisa. And we offer this Chalisa for the benefit of all of us who are here, all who are listening online, and anyone who is undergoing problems, difficulty, sickness. Nashay rog hare sab pira, japata nirantar hanumat bira. That rog, pira, sicknesses and pain, all are destroyed by the repetition of the name of Hanumanji. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja Nij Man Mukura Sudhar Barno Raghuvar Vimala Jaso Jodayak Phalchar Buddhihin Tanu Janike Sumirao Pavan Kumar Bal Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harahu Kalesha Vikar Siyavar Ramchandra Ki Jai Pavan Sut Hanuman Ki Jai Sharanam Ram ji se Ram Ram kahiyo कहियो के हनुमान जी हो राम जी से राम राम
कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी
जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीश तिहु लोक उजागर राम दूत अतुलित बल धाम अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नाम महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुवेशा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो
राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी
हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केशरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो
राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी
सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारी रामचंद्र के काज सवारी लाय संजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिया भरत सम भाई राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो
राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी
सहस बदन तुम्हरो यश गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा नारद सागर सहित ईशा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि को विद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो।
राम जी से राम राम कहियो के हनुमान जी।
तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जान। युग सहस्र योजन पर भान, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जान। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेरी मुख माहि, जल गिरांग गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो।
राम जी से राम राम कहियो के हनुमान जी।
राम द्वारे तुम रखवारे, होतन आज्ञा बिन पैसार। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संहारो आपै, तीनों लोक हाथ के कापै। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो।
राम जी से राम राम कहियो के हनुमान जी।
नाशय रोग हरि सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ाव, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लाव। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो।
राम जी से राम राम कहियो के हनुमान जी।
चारों युग पर ताप तुम्हारा, है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियार। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असुर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो।
राम जी से राम राम कहियो के हनुमान जी।
तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुवरपुर जाए, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाए। और देवता चित्तन धरे, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करे। संकट कटे मिटै सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो।
राम जी से राम राम कहियो के हनुमान जी।
जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की नाई। जो शत बार पात कर कोई, छूत ही बंधि महासुख होई। जो यहाँ पर ही हनुमान चालीसा, होई सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, विजयनाथ हृदय महदेरा। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी हो।
राम जी से राम राम कहियो के हनुमान जी।
राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के हनुमान जी। राम जी से राम राम कहियो कहियो के
हनुमान जी।
पावन तनय संकट हरण, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुरभूप। लाल देह लालील से, अरुधरि लाल लंगोर। वज्र देह दानव दलना, जय 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 कपिसूर सियावर। रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय शरणम। बोलो पावन पुत्र हनुमान की जय। Devotees, immense power comes to that one when we chant the words of Hanumanji Chalisa. Even if you feel insecure, get up. Just the remembrance of the name of Pavanputra Hanumanji, devotees, gives us great solace, gives us great strength to face some difficult situations, problems as they come to us. So today being Tuesday also, we focus our katha upon Pavanputra Hanumanji. And Hanumanji is introduced into Sri Ramcharitamanas in Kishkindakan. We start to hear about Hanumanji from Kishkindakan. And this came about, devotees, when Sri Ram went in search of Sita Devi, Sita Mata. And as he is perusing the forest, as he is going through the forest, he came to this certain part of the forest. And our katha begins today where Prabhu Sri Ram was perusing and what happened when he reached there. आगे चले बाहुरी रघुराया, सीताराम भजले ऋषिया मुख पर्वत लेयराया, राजा तहारह सचिवा सहित सुग्रीवा रामा, तहारह सचिवा सहित सुग्रीवा, सीताराम भजले आवत देखी अतुल बल सेवा, राजा सभीत कहा सुनो हनुमाना, सीताराम भजले पुरुष जुगल बल रूप निधाना, राजा हरे बतरूप देख तय जाए रामा, हरे बतरूप देख तय जाए, सीताराम भजले सुजाने जिय सयान बुझाए, राजा सीताराम भजले, सीताराम भजले, सीताराम भजले, सुजानी जिय सयन बुझाए, राजा आगे चले बहुरी रघुराया, ऋष्यामुख पर्वत नियराया. So we are hearing where that part of the forest where Prabhu Sri Ram was traveling, he reached close to that mountain called Rishyamukh Parvat. What was very special about Mount Rishyamukh? Taha raha sachiva sahita Sugriva. There, Sugriv, along with some of his very close friends, his ministers, he lived there. Who was Sugriv? Who was Sugriv? Who's his relative that we know from Ramayana? Ravan? No. Bali, yes. Yes. He's related to Bali. Bali was his brother. And they were the sons of Indradev. Both of them sons of Indradev. Both of them very mighty, very strong. But Bali had one great gift, that he did tapasya. He did penance and he attained this gift. What was that gift? That anybody he faces in battle, Bali will have his own strength and he'll take half their strength too. Anybody that faces him in battle. Right? So he has his own strength and he will take half their strength. So how anybody could win? How anybody could win against Bali? If he has his own strength, he take half your strength, now you're fighting half strength against 1.5. It's not possible. Right? It's not possible, devotees. But let us think now. What that power of Bali, what does he represent? What represents Bali in today's world? It's nice to know the story, but also nice to know what it means to us. How it, impacts our life, how it relates to our life. Bali represents anything that is addictive. Anything that's addictive. Doesn't only mean something to eat, something to drink. Anything that is addictive. It's the power of Bali. Because when we stand in the face of that addiction has its own strength and sap half of our strength too. So we feel powerless in front of this addiction. Think now, Sugriv had to fight Bali. And he tried many a times and he failed. Until he befriended Sri Ram. And with the help of Sri Ram, he was able to overcome Bali. So any addiction that we have, what the Ramayan is telling us, if we pray sincerely, and we win the favor of Bhagavan, then we can overcome. As I said, it's not only something to eat, something to drink. Addiction can come in many, many different forms. Many different forms. So, Sugriv lived there because on Mount Rishyamukh because he was afraid of his brother. He was afraid of Bali because Bali trashed him so many times. He beat him up so many times. He went to Mount Rishyamukh. And going to Mount Rishyamukh, devotees, why he went to Mount Rishyamukh? Because Bali couldn't go there. Bali couldn't go and touch him. Mount Rishyamukh. Anybody remember why Bali couldn't go to Mount Rishyamukh? Christine, remember? So Bali was very, proud of his strength. And at one time there was a great demon by the name of Dundubhi. And Dundubhi was very, very strong. So he went and he challenged Lord Brahma to fight. Lord Brahma said, "No, I'm not a warrior. Go and choose some great warrior from earth." So he went to the great kings, challenged them all, and they all declined to fight him because they knew that they could not win. And they told him, "Bali is the only one who is worthy to fight you." And devotees, Dundubi went in front of the palace of Sugriv, of Bali in fact, and he roared his challenge. And despite his wife and his brother Sugriv telling him, "Bali, don't let him incite you into a fight. Don't let him cause you to get into a fight." Bali didn't listen. If he's challenged, he's going. If he's challenged, he's going. And devotees, he went out and he engaged in this battle with Dundubi. Of course, he won. And winning wasn't enough for him. Dundubi came in the form of a big bear. And he took the corpse, the carcass of the bear, and with his great strength, he threw it many, many miles. And as it was flying, devotees, of course, blood dripping from this body, Matanga Rishi was performing yagya. Great Havan he was performing. And this corpse flying over his ashram, some of the blood dripped into his ashram, into the Havan, and the yagya was spoiled. And sage Matanga, with his divine vision, he knew exactly who did it. He said, "Bali." He lived on Mount Rishyamukh. He said, "If you ever step foot on Mount Rishyamukh, your head will shatter into pieces." He gave him that shrap. So as such, this was the only place that Sugriv could find safe haven. So there Sugriv was staying, devotees. And Avat Dekhiya Tulbal Siva, he saw these two very strong-looking men walking, seeming to be, the highest embodiment of power, of might. And he saw them approaching, devotees. Ati sabhit kaha suno Hanumana. He became very, very worried. He became worried and he called out to Hanuman. He said, "Hanumanji, come." When we get scared, who it is called? They say Ghostbusters. When we get scared, who it is called? Jai Shri Hanuman. Jai Hanuman. Hanumanji gives us that strength, devotees, inner strength to face on anything. I've said this many times in the mandir that I remember my Aja was a very strong person up till his late years, very, very strong. And his habit, his practice, anytime he's going to lift something, whether it's light or heavy, before he lifts anything, he says, "Jai Hanuman. Jai Hanuman." And he gains that strength from inside to do what he has to do. So, Sugriv felt very frightened. He got alarmed and he called out to Hanuman. He says, Purusha Jugal Bal Rupa Nidhana, says, these two individuals, they're very beautiful looking. They're also very strong looking. He says, Dhari Batu Rupa Dekhtai Jai. He says, assume the form of a brahmachari. Assume the form of a brahmachari, a student, a Brahmin student, and go and see them. Go and see them. Kahisu jani jia sayana bujhai. And try to understand what brings them to this part of the forest. What brings them to this part of the forest? And when you find out, send me a little sign. That time they didn't have cell phone to text. Right? So he said, give me a little sign of what it is they are here for. And devotees, what happened, let us hear in this chopai. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Pate Bali Hohi Man Maila, Bhagao Turat Jao Ye Shaila, Viprarup Dhari Kapitah Gayo, Matnaye Puchat As Bhayo. Bolo Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Bolo Shri Ram Jai Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
कि तुम श्यामल गौर शरीरा, क्षत्रि रूप फिर हो बन डेरा, कठिन भूमि कोमल पदगामी, कवन हेतु बिचरहु बन स्वामी. बोलो श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम. 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 So what Sugriv was worried about? Pathe Bali Hohi Man Maila. He was worried about that if Bali sent them to destroy him. Because Bali couldn't come on Mount Rishyamukh. So he's wondering now if Bali sent Sri Ram and Lakshman to destroy him instead. He said, Bhagau Turata Tajai Ye Shaila. If that is the case, I must leave here and run away. Bhagai. That I must run away from here. Devotees, Hanumanji on listening. Viprarup dhari kapitaha gayu. Taking the form of this young Brahmin student, Hanumanji, he approached Sri Ram and Lakshmanji. Mat nai puchat as bhayu. And he did pranam, he bowed to them respectfully, and he started to speak to them. Now this is something very important for us. As Sanatanis Hindus, as practicing Hindus, when we greet and meet each other, what do we say? What do we say to each other? Sitaram. But when we say Sitaram, there's a certain posture that we should assume. A certain way that we should say our Sitaram. Not just nonchalantly. We say Sitaram, Sitaram. Right? Why we do this? This is a posture of great humility. We put our hands together like this. This is how we approach Prabhu. This is how we approach God, right? When we pray, don't we put our hands like this? So when we say Sitaram to each other, we put our hands like this. And we are saying to that person, whoever I'm saying Sitaram to, I'm saying Sitaram to Vikram, right? So I say Sitaram Vikram. And what I'm saying to Vikram is that I see the presence of Sita Devi and Prabhu Shri Ram in you. I bow to that presence. This is what we say. And the more that we do this, devotees, the more that we do this, the more that we practice this, the more that strength of humility comes to us. The quality of humility. It builds inside of us. Now, of course, we will do this with our Hindu brothers and sisters. Right? We wouldn't go up to a random stranger who doesn't know what we're doing and do this, right? Because it'll be very strange for them. They would not understand. But for our Hindu brothers and sisters, when we meet and greet, we should remember this is the way that we do it. Hanumanji, he went up to them, he bowed his head to them, he put his hands together, he did his prostration. And he started to speak. He said, Ki tum shamal gaur sharira. He says, who are you two brave warriors? Who are you? One is dark, one is fair. Sri Ram assumed a dark form, and Lakshmanji was very fair. Says, Kshatri Roop Pirhu Banbira. You are perusing this forest, you are going through this forest, these guys are Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas. Who are the Kshatriyas? The warrior class. Those who fight. Those who defend. This is the race that Prabhu Sri Ram took incarnation as a prince, as the son of a king, as a Kshatriya. And devotees, Hanumanji is asking. He says in the disguise, because they didn't look like, they belong there. They didn't look like they belong in the hermit clothes. Wearing hermit clothes but carrying a bow and arrow. Disguised as Kshatriyas. He says, Kachina bhumi komal padagami. You are walking upon this hard ground with your very beautiful and soft feet. Have we ever envisioned the feet of the Lord? Ever thought about that? Ever thought about how the feet of the Lord looks? Rajesh? Yes. We may not know exactly what it looks like, but devotees, thinking about it, we can think about how that feet of the Lord looks. It says, this bhajan says, devotees, that whoever goes to the feet of Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Shri Ram, they will receive great amount of blessing. They will fulfill all their desires. राम के चरणों में जो भी आ गया, राम के चरणों में जो भी राम के चरणों में जो भी आ गया, राम के कुल जहाँ के नेमते वो पा गया, राम के चरणों में जो भी आ गया, राम के चरणों में जो भी Bhajan tells us of some great devotees who have reached the feet of Bhagwan Shri Ram. राम का सुमिरन किया हनुमान ने, राम का सुमिरन किया हनुमान ने, राम के दिल में जगा हो पा गया, राम के चरणों में जो भी आ गया, राम के राम के दीवानी शबरी नाम था, राम के दीवानी शबरी नाम था, राम झूठे बेर जिसके खा गया, राम के चरणों में जो भी आ गया, राम के
चरणों में जो भी आ गया।
राम का सुमिरन किया प्रहलाद ने, राम का सुमिरन किया प्रहलाद ने, गर्म खंडे से लिपट हर्षा गया, राम के चरणों में जो भी कुल जहाँ के नेम दे वो पा गया, राम के चरणों में जो भी आ गया, राम के चरणों में जो भी आ गया, राम के चरणों में जो भी आ गया। बोली श्री रामचंद्र की जय। हनुमान जी, राम का सुमिरन किया हनुमान ने। That Hanuman ji is in constant remembrance of Shri Ram. Constant remembrance of Shri Ram. That anything Hanuman ji does, what does he say before? Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Think of how beautiful life can become, devotees, if we can remember to say this before any activity that we perform. Before we use any other adjectives and verbs and adverbs, you can say Jai Shri Ram. Says what we practice, we become. good at this. So if we practice to say other things, devotees, then we become good at that. And if we want to change that, then we have to make an effort. We have to make an effort to change. Because if we know, instead of using other verbs, is not good, and chanting Jai Shri Ram is beneficial, then we have to effect that change. We have to make that change in our life. And that takes some effort, right? It takes effort to move from a place of familiarity and comfort. Right? For example, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, if I come and sit on the stage, I could stretch my foot a little bit. So it takes some effort for you to get up from where you are and to move. So if we want something to change in life, then we have to put out. We have to put out devotees. So Hanumanji looking at the soft, beautiful feet of Lakshmanji and Sri Ram, he says, how are you walking this hard ground? This hard ground with your soft feet. Why are you in this part of the forest? What are you doing here? Oh masters, what are you doing here? And devotees, he continued to say, let us hear in Chopai. मृदुला मनोहर सुंदर गाता सहत दुसह बन आतप बाता बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम बोलो
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
कि तुम्हते देव महको नर नारायण की तुम्ह दो बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम बोलो
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Hanumanji, being very perceptive, Hanumanji says, he is, what's the first line of Hanuman Chalisa? Says, Jai Hanuman Gyan Gun Sagar. Hanumanji is an ocean of Gyan and Guna. What is Gyan? Knowledge. Guna means virtues. An ocean of knowledge and virtues. Hanumanji, very, very smart, very witty. He's looking at them, he says, Mridula Manohar Sundar Gata. He says, you're very, very beautiful. You're very, very handsome. Your form is very beautiful, very charming, very attractive. He says, Sahata dusaha bana atapa bata. How is it that you have exposed yourself to this very harsh environment of the forest? So you see, Hanumanji didn't come out and ask them directly, what you doing here? Right? He's working around it in a very nice way, in a very easy way. He is trying to get the story of what is happening. He says, Ki tum hati ni dev mahako. He says, are you two of the three great devatas of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva? Are you two of them? Or are you Nar Narayan ki tum hado? Are you Nar and Narayana? He's asking all these questions of Sri Ram and Lakshman. Who is Nar and Narayana? Do we know who they are? Nar and Narayana. No? So Nar and Narayana are twin brothers that incarnated upon this earth. Incarnation of Sri Mahavishnu Bhagavan is said to be a fourth major incarnation of Sri Mahavishnu, Nar Narayana. So he's asking all these questions, devotees. And he still wasn't finished. Let us hear what he says further in this doha. कारण तारण भव भंजन धरणी भार भंजन धरणी भार कि तुम अखिल भुवन पति लीन मनुज अवतार सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम. He continued to ask, जग कारण तारण भव भंजन धरणी भार की तुम अखिल भुवनपति लीन मनुज अवतार. He asked that, are you the causes of this entire creation? Are you the cause of all of this to happen? So, as Hindus, we believe in the concept of creation. If we ask somebody who's an atheist, they will say creation is nonsense. And they will say it is evolution. Nevertheless, devotees, no matter what you believe in, no matter what a person believes in, whether they believe in creation or they believe in evolution, each and every person in this world is still looking for God. Boli Shri Ramachandra ki jai. They may call themselves an atheist. But each and every person in this world is still looking for God. You know why I can say this with confidence? Why I can say this with confidence? Because each and every person in this world wants to be happy, isn't it? Anybody want to be unhappy? Where's Anish? He's hiding? Yes. So I wanted to ask him if he wants to be unhappy or happy. Right? Each and every person would like to be happy, isn't it? Anybody would like to be unhappy? Show me a hand. Right? Nobody. Uncle, you want to be unhappy? No? Yeah, you want to be unhappy or happy? Oh, of course, right. Uncle didn't hear me correctly. So we're all looking for happiness. We all looking for happiness. And try as we may, devotees, try as we may. In this world, we can have everything in this world. But doesn't mean that we are happy. I ask devotees all the time, which store are we going to buy happiness? Which store are we going to buy happiness? They say happiness is, what the advertisement say? Happiness is Marineland. Yes. That is temporary satisfaction, devotees, not happiness. Temporary enjoyment. Right? I always use this example, you know. If we say that we all go into Wonderland, and whoever like to engage in those type of activities, then we get very excited to go, right? We're looking forward to go to this place. So on the day off, you know, with all anxiousness and anxiety, we get ourselves ready and we trek down to Wonderland and we pay how much is the admission, right? And we go inside and, you know, ride everything that we want to ride. And whole day we having fun, laughing. And devotees, Wonderland is big, right? So you're walking all over the place. By the end of the day, what happened? Under your foot hurting because you walk so much. Your stomach probably upset because you ride so much roller coaster. You eat too much cotton candy, ice cream, whatever else. And then on top of that, the pocket empty too. And you have to drive home. Huh? So what we call this? Where the enjoyment went? It went out the window very, very quickly. Very, very quickly it left. So we ask ourselves, where is the happiness? Where is the happiness? And happiness, devotee, is very simple. Very, very simple. Happiness is found when we find ourselves close to God. True happiness. If happiness is true, then it will never leave us. It will never leave us. We'll always be in a state of happiness. Of all the challenges that Hanumanji faced, never did we hear that Hanumanji is unhappy. He faced it with great courage and strength because he knew and he had that full faith that Prabhu Sri Ram is with him. So devotees, here Hanumanji is asking, are you the cause of this creation? Are you the cause of everything to be here? Are you those ones who have taken avatar, incarnation, come into this world to help all of us to relieve this earth of all the burdens that are there? And devotees, after saying all of this, Prabhu Sri Ram started to speak. What did he say, devotees? Let us hear in Chaupai. Kushalesh दशरथ के जाए, कुशलेश दशरथ के जाए, हम पितु बचन मानी बन आए। बोलो श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। नाम राम लक्ष्मण दो भाई, संग नारी सुकुमारी सुहाई। बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
इहा हरि निश्चर बैदे, इहा हरि निश्चर बैदे। बेप्रतिरहि हम खोजत के। बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
आपन चरित कहा हम गाई, कहु विप्र निज कथा बुझाई। बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम।
जय जय राम।
It's a very wonderful line that Prabhu Shri Ram said. At this point he said, Koshalesh Dasharath ke jaye, that we are the sons of King Dashrath, who is the Lord of Koshal, the Lord of Ayodhya. Hum pitu bachan mani ban aaye, that we have come to the forest to uphold the words of our Father in obedience to the commands of our Father, even though, this was a reluctant command on behalf of Raja Dashrath. But the Lord took it upon himself because he could not let the words of his father fall. We spoke about that in a previous session, that what is our words worth today? When we give our word, what is it worth? As a Pandit, and I'll tell you, if I give you a time for your puja, and my Revered Father was just like this, even better than me. If I give you a time, I'm doing my utmost. If I say 10 o'clock, I'm doing my utmost to be there, 10 for the latest. These are things that we should practice. If we make a commitment to someone, then we should try our utmost to uphold that commitment and do not disappoint. In the business world it says you under promise and over deliver. You try your best, devotees, to make each and every person around you comfortable, contented, happy. Concept of karma, right? The concept of karma. What we are advised to give in this world, to give kindness, to give joy, to give love. And what happens, devotees? What karma does? Karma comes full circle, comes back to us. So if we give kindness, if we give joy, if we give love, if we give helpfulness, what is waiting for us on the other side? Exactly what we gave. Isn't it? But on the other hand, if we give other types of things, if we give anger and hatred, jealousy and greed, ridicule, insults, what's waiting for us on the other side? The very same. The very same. What is the golden rule in life, devotees? Do unto others as you would have them. Uncle Neil could tell me this one. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You say, well, you don't like for yourself, to give somebody else. Don't give it to somebody else, devotee. It's not good practice. It's not a good practice. Because one day, you say, every action is like you're planting something in the garden of your life. I tell devotees, if you only plant pepper, and the day come you have to reap and eat only pepper, no matter how much you like pepper, you wouldn't enjoy it. If you're eating only pepper. You must want a little baigan and tomatoes. To make a little chokan. You can't eat pepper alone. You want something else to go along with it, some potato and thing, right? Some aloo and thing, right? So we need all these things, to enjoy our life. We have to plant the things that will, when they grow and they come back to us, there'll be enjoyment. So, Sri Ram is saying to Hanumanji, says, we have come out of obedience to uphold the word of our father. Nam Ram Lakshman do bhai. That our names are Ram and Lakshman. Our names are Ram and Lakshman. We are brothers. Sanganari Sukumari Suhai. And together with me was my beautiful consort. Iha Hari Nisichar Baidehi. But some Nisichar, some Rakshas, some demon has stolen her away from us, has taken her away, has abducted her. Bipra pirahi ham khojat tehi. That isn't, it is because of looking for her. O Brahman, O student, that we are here in the forest. It's because we are looking for her. And in saying this, Prabhu Shri Ram continued to say, Apan charit kaha ham gai. That we have told you why we are here. We have answered your questions. He says, Kahu Bipra Nija Katha Bujhai. O Bipra, O Brahman, O student, please tell us your story now. Boli Shri Ram Chandra ki Jai. So now Shri Ram turned it around on Hanumanji. Now, tell us your story. And devotees, when Prabhu Shri Ram said that I am Ram and this is my brother Lakshman, devotees, what happened? Very, very beautiful. Let us hear. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Bolo Shri Ram Jaya Rama
Jaya Jaya Rama
Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Bolo
Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama
Prabhu pehchani pareyo gahi charana Prabhu pehchani pareyo gahi charana So sukh oma सो सुख उमा जाए नहीं बरना। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। बोलो श्री राम
जय राम जय जय राम।
पुलकित तन मुख आवन बचना। पुलकित तन मुख आवन बचना। देखत रुचिर देखत रुचिर बेश जय रचना। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। बोलो
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
बोलो
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
प्रभु पहचानी परेव गही चरना। Devotees, when Prabhu Sri Ram said his name and his brother's name, then Prabhu Pehchani, then Hanuman recognized his Lord. Hanumanji recognized his Lord, and instantly, Pareyu Gahi Charana, instantly fell at the feet of the Lord. He went straight down to the feet of the Lord, devotees, and clasped the feet of the Lord. And he held on to the feet of the Lord. Those of us who are blessed with a guru, the closest thing that we can feel to this is when we hold on to the feet of our guru. How we feel. How we feel when we hold the feet or touch the feet of our guru. This is the closest we can feel for now. But when we go to our murti, devotees, and we touch our murti, murti of Lord Shiva, murti of Durga Ma, murti of Lord Vishnu, do we feel hard stone? Do we feel a hard stone when we touch it? Or do we feel the softness of the feet of the Lord? It's all in our perception, right? All in our understanding. Hanumanji, devotees, he went down and he clasped the feet of Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Shri Ram and Lord Shiva, relating this katha to Parvati Devi. He said, So Sukha Uma Jai Nahi Barna. He says the joy, the happiness that Hanumanji was experiencing at that point, no words can describe. You ever feel so good sometimes that you can't really describe what you felt? Yes? You know, when you do your puja, when you do your devotion, sometimes, you know, that feeling, that divine feeling comes up inside of you that you really don't know how to describe, but you know you felt so good. It felt so good. But the mind really cannot process it to put it into words. So the joy that Hanumanji was feeling at that time, he says, Lord Shiva says, that no words could describe. Pulakita tan mukha avana bachana. Devotees, all the hair on his body stood on edge. He experienced that electricity flowing through his body. And no words could come to his mouth. He was only holding on to the feet of the Lord. And tears streaming down his face. Holding on to the feet of the Lord, devotees. Dekhat ruchira beshikai rachana. And he was gazing upon a beautiful form of Prabhu Shri Ram. Of Prabhu Shri Ram. Devotees. After some time, what happened? Let us hear in this chaupai. पुनि धीरज धरि स्तुति कीन्हि हर्ष हृदय निज नाथ चीन्हि। बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
मोर न्याओ रामा मोर न्याओ मैं पूछा साये तुम पूछा हो कस नर की नाये। बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। After some time, पुनि धीरज धरि स्तुति कीन्हि हर्ष हृदय निज नाथ ही चीन्हि। Devotees, after some time, he developed that courage, that internal strength, and he started to sing the praises of Maryada Purushottam. Can we envision this beautiful scene? Sri Ram, Lakshman ji standing there, Hanuman ji is seated at their feet in the disguise of a young Brahmin student. And with a great amount of joy in his face, devotees, with a great amount of joy in his heart, Hanuman ji is chanting, Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Can we all close our eyes? Can we envision this beautiful scene as Hanuman ji is praising Prabhu? Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram,
Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
We all use our voices also as we join Pavanaputra Hanumanji, chanting the beautiful name of Prabhu Shri Ram. Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Hey Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram. Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram,
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Let us all clap along and sing with Hanumanji devotees. Let us please that Lord here tonight. Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Hey Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram.
Hey Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Jai Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Jai Jai Ram. बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान के जय, पवन पुत्र हनुमान के जय. Hanumanji devotees, he engaged in this beautiful singing the praises of Prabhu Shri Ram, and his heart was full of joy, full of happiness, because he has now found his Lord. And then he said, Mor nyau mai pucha sai. He said, Oh Lord, it is okay if I ask, who are you? It's okay if I ask, who are you? But tum puchahu kas narki nai. He said, how come you ask me who I am as if you are mere mortal, a mere human? Devotees, mysterious are the ways of Bhagwan. Mysterious are the ways of Bhagwan. Because we do not know when Bhagwan comes to us, right? We don't have to be in mandir when Bhagwan comes to us. If we are devoting ourselves, Bhagwan can come to us at any time. At any time, devotees. This is why the bhajan says, Bare pyar se milna sab se. That with great love, you meet and greet each other. Plenty time today, somebody sees somebody else and say, oh gosh, that man come again. I don't want to see his face. I don't want to see her face. Right? And we have this kind of reaction. But we don't know, devotees, if Bhagwan come in that form now. If Bhagwan come in that form. Kaun bara hai, kaun hai chota. Who's big and who's small? Kaun bara hai, kaun hai chota. Ucha kaun aur neecha. Who's high and who is low? प्रेम की जल से सभी को सींचा, ये है प्रभु का बगीचा. That this is Bhagwan's garden, and we are all watered with his love. We all here because of Bhagwan. मत खींचो तुम दीवारे. Bhajan is telling us, do not build barriers between ourselves. Do not make division between ourselves. मत खींचो तुम दीवारे इंसानों के दरवाजे रे. Because we don't know. क्या जाने किस भेष में बाबा मिल जाए भगवान रे. We don't know which form Bhagwan will come to us. बड़े प्यार से मिलना सबसे दुनिया में इंसान रे. क्या जाने किस भेष में बाबा मिल जाए भगवान रे. बड़े प्यार से मिलना सबसे. You always remember this, right? Always remember this. Remember this bhajan. And when you meet and greet each other, meet and greet with what? What we say just now? Bare pyar. Meet with love. Not hostility. Not enmity. No. We don't like it. We don't like that hostility. We don't like that enmity. We show respect, we get respect. Right? Respect is something that is earned, not something that you can command somebody. Hey, you have to respect me because of my position. No. Somebody has to feel that urge to respect you because of the way that you conduct yourself, because of the way that you live your life. If you force somebody to respect you, that's not respect, that's fear. There's a difference. And some of the things that they fear you for today may not be there tomorrow, may not be there 10 years from now. And then what happens? All fall down. All fall down. So we give respect. We earn respect. We give love. We get that love back in return. So devotees, Hanumanji is saying, why did you ask me who I am? Devotees, not for us to try and understand what Bhagwan does. It's not for us to try and understand what Bhagwan does. Bhagwan does what he does. In the beginning of Aranyakand, Ramcharitamanas, we are told about the Katha of Jayanta. Right? Who was Jayanta? Jayanta was another son of Indradev. And Jayanta wanted to test the might of Sri Ram. He wanted to see how strong is Sri Ram. So what he did a little mischief. He assumed the form of a bird, and Sri Ram was there, putting flowers in the hair of Sita Mata, decorating her hair with flowers. Right? Last night we talked about relationship, right? So Sri Ram was there putting the flowers in her hair, decorating her hair. And Jayanta went and he picked the feet of Sita Mata and drew some blood. And what Sri Ram did, he took us a piece of grass and he put it on his bow and he shoot it behind Jayanta. And no matter where Jayanta fly, this piece of grass is behind him, following him everywhere he went. He wanted to test the might of Sri Ram. Santosi Dashi says, Jayanta trying to test the strength of Sri Ram is like an ant trying to test the depth of the ocean. Is it possible? Can an ant go to the deepest part of the ocean and see how deep it is? No. It's not possible. We cannot test the strength. We cannot understand fully why Bhagwan does what he does. So we don't question this. We don't question this. We accept it for what it is. This is Bhagwan's Leela. This is his activity. We accept it for what it is. But why Hanumanji didn't recognize Shri Ram? Why Hanumanji didn't recognize Shri Ram? We'll hear it in this half a chopai, what he says. तब माया बस हिरव भुलाना ताते मैं नहीं प्रभु पहचाना जय राम Shri Ram Jai Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Jai
Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram
Jai Raghupati Raghav
Raja Ram.
So what reason Hanumanji gave? He says, Tab Maya Bas Phiro Bhulana. He says, Oh Prabhu, I have been wandering upon this earth under the influence of your Maya, of your elusive power, your power of illusion. I've been wandering around. Remember how Hanumanji presented himself. How Hanumanji presented himself in front of Sri Ram. Did he go in his normal form? No. He was told, assume the form of a Brahmin student, a brahmachari, and go to the Lord and find out. And he did as he was told. So he went in a disguise. He didn't go in his true form. So you understand, devotees? When we do not present our true self to Bhagwan, good, bad, or ugly, however it is, our true form, if we do not present ourselves truthfully to Bhagavan devotees, then we will never be able to see Him. We will never be able to recognize Him. When we do our puja, devotees, do it in the most honest way, in the most sincere way, in the most truthful way. Don't do it for pump and show and whatnot. No, this is not what puja is about. Puja is expression of love to Bhagavan. Not how nice I could dress up and how much jewel I have and how nice I can make my hair. Nothing wrong with that. Do it. But don't make it about that. Don't make it about that, devotees. Don't make it about how nice I could dress up the place. So all my friends, when they come, they'll say, oh, wow. No. This is not the reason why we're doing it. We are doing it to impress Bhagwan. We want to make Bhagwan comfortable. We want him to feel good when we invite him. What we always say, when you try to impress and you don't get the reaction that you want, then you become depressed. Right? So we don't want this. We don't want this, devotees. We have to be careful. So Hanumanji is saying that I have been wandering under your elusive power, and this is why I fail to recognize you, O Lord. Boli Shri Ramachandra ki Jai. I've gone on a little bit too long tonight, so we'll engage now in our final arti. I just wanted to get to this point so that we all, wrap up this katha so we can all go home with that closure. So at this time, devotees, may we all stand as we engage in our final arti, after which we'll do our closing prayer. Om Sajam Chavarti Sanyuktam Vahnina Yojitam Maya Deepam Grihan Devesh Trailokyam Timirapaham Arati Shri Ramayan Ji Ki Kirati Kali Talalita Siyapi Ki Arati Shri Ramayan Ji Ki Gavat Brahma Dika Muni Narad Valmiki Vigyana Visharad Shukha Sanatari Shesha Aur Sharad Madani Pavan सुत की रतिने की भारत श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलि कललित सियति की
भारत श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलि कललित सियति की
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश चाहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस मुनि जन धन संतन को सरबस सार अंश सम्मत सब की भारत श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियति की
भारत श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलि ललित सियति की
गावत संतत शंभु भवानी और भक्त संभव मुनि विज्ञानी व्यास आदि कवि वर्षव खानी भाग भुसुंडी गरुड़ के भारत श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियति की
भारत श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलि ललित सियति की
कलिमल हरानी विषय रस फीके सुभाग श्रृंगार मोती युवती के दल नरोद भाव बोरियमी की बात मात सब विधि तुलसी की भारत श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियति की
भारत श्री रामायण जी की कीर्ति कलि ललित सियति
कीरति कलित ललित सियति की कीरति कलित ललित सियति की। बोलिए श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। So at this time, devotees, we all clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads as we engage in our final prarthana to end this evening's devotion. Once more, we humbly pray and ask grace and blessings of our Divine Lord and Master to be upon each and every one of us as we have taken part this evening of devotion. We ask for continued guidance, blessings, protection, encouragement from the Lord to stay on that path which will lead us, each and every one, to that peace, happiness, contentment that we all seek in life. Let us all pray. Hari Om. Mantrahinam kriyahinam bhaktihinam janadanam yat pujitam maya devam paripurnam tarastu me. Om avahanam na janami visarjanam pujam chaiva na janami shamyatam parameshwaram. Tvameva mata shapita tvameva bandhu shasaka tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Om asato ma sadgamaya tamso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. He Sarva Shaktiman Sachirananda Nirakar Nirvikar Sarvadhar Sarveshwar Sarvavyapak Antaryami Ajar Amar Nitya Pavitra Shrishti Karta ko बारंबार नमस्कार है। हे परमात्मा, भविष्य वर्तमान दुखियों का कष्ट हरण करके सुबुद्धि को प्रकाश करके जिससे सबका मंगल होए। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम. As we close this evening's devotion, we join in praises to Panaputra Hanumanji. So we chant. He Hanuman Bahu Balwan Bhakti Gyan Vairagya ki Khan. He Hanuman Bahu Balwan
Bhakti Gyan Vairagya ki Khan.
He Hanuman Bahu Balwan Bhakti Gyan Vairagya ki Khan. He Hanuman
Bahu Balwan Bhakti Gyan Vairagya ki Khan.
संकट मोचन तू कहलाए,
संकट मोचन तू कहलाए।
राम बिना तुझे कुछ ना भाए।
राम बिना तुझे कुछ ना भाए।
तेरा द्वार जो भी खटकाए,
तेरा द्वार जो भी खटकाए।
बिन कुछ पाए घर नहीं जाए। 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 हे हनुमान बहु बलवान भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य की खान। हे हनुमान बहु बलवान
भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य की खान।
हे हनुमान बहु बलवान भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य की खान। हे हनुमान बहु बलवान भक्ति ज्ञान वैराग्य की खान। हे हनुमान। बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र के जय। उमापति महादेव के जय। पवन सुत हनुमान के जय। वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र के जय। उड़ीसा जगन्नाथ के जय। बोलो रे भाई सब संतन के जय। सियापति रामचंद्र के जय। बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म के जय। शरणम प्रभु। आसन लीजिए। प्लीज हैव योर सीट्स devotees. So even after going on for a little extra time, we still finish on time, so which is good. So devotees, just be reminded, tomorrow is symbolic Ram Janma Puja. It's also a very important Purnima in our year. It's called Guru Purnima or Vyas Purnima. So it's a day where those who have been initiated, those who have a spiritual guide, a guru, a teacher, that we pay obeisance to that teacher. Right? In whichever way, whichever form again, some of our gurus, we live in different countries from each other. Nevertheless, some have gone to different lok as well. Right, Yato? Different lok. But that's okay. We can still remember them, we can still think of them, and we can still gain their grace and blessings. A true guru will never leave a person. Physically, they might go, but the grace and blessings of the guru, always with them. Always with them. So, tomorrow we'll discuss a little bit about guru from the pages of Sri Ramcharitamanas, what it means to have a guru, what guru does for us, how we get benefited when we place ourselves at the feet of the guru. Tomorrow we'll discuss a little bit about that in the pages of Sri Ramcharitamanas. So that's tomorrow. Thursday is Rameshwar Puja. Saturday, Shri Ganesha Turti. So, we have 3 days of puja, and, devotees are welcome to make offerings for symbolic Ram Janma Puja. If you'd like to bring a Naivedya, prasad, some flowers to offer to baby Sri Ram, feel free to do that tomorrow. And also on Thursday, Rameshwar Puja, Puja to Lord Shiva, if you'd like to make offerings on that day, as well as on Saturday, if you'd like to make offerings to Lord Ganesha. So any devotee who is desirous of doing this, that time will be made to have this done for you. So we're just asking devotees to come a little bit early. Don't come like 7 o'clock after 7, because we're trying to start the discourse reading part just after 7. So if you come a little bit earlier, around 6:30 or so, at least time will be there to do these offerings for you. So once more, devotees, God's blessings to each and every one. Please, those of you who are here, have a safe journey home, and join us tomorrow at 7 again as we continue our devotions. Boliye Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai. Until then, Jai Jai Sitaram.